name is Maria Park, and this is Approach to Nerd, and I am here with my friend Joe's Geek Show. Please subscribe to his channel. I will put it in the description below. And we are here to talk about the craziness that is Ruby Rose walking away from Batwoman right before season 2 even starts filming. What is happening? So yeah, we're here speculating why we think she left and who we think they should get to replace her. So I'm going to start with you, Joe. What do you think? Why do you think Ruby Rose left Kane and Gotham City?
Oh boy, I mean, I think that's a very good question. I mean, first off, when I had started seeing the articles pop up all over my news feeds, Facebook, Twitter, and stuff, I was shocked. I was extremely shocked because really for CW and a title character, this had never happened before. I mean, that's like Stephen Amell walking off Arrow or Grant Gustin walking off The Flash. That's just insane, especially, you know, as season 1 ended and the show was renewed for a second season. So, you know, obviously she knew that was the case. Basically ideas started formulating in my head about why this could potentially be. I mean, I remember just several months ago, I think it was almost towards the midpoint of the season, we had gotten news that she had suffered a neck injury and had to have, she had to have, like, I guess it was
surgery, right?
Yeah, she had a minor surgery on her neck or her spine or something like that. But she had said in, I think it was on her Instagram or something, one of her social medias that she still has, that, you know, the surgery was basically minor. It wasn't like gonna be an issue because there was like some speculation even back then if she was going to be able to return to the role even at that point in the show. So that's definitely one idea that can be presented in terms of like a reason, like maybe the neck injury was a little more severe than she let on and is just no longer able to do the stunts, you know, because albeit maybe there could be some physical pain that she's getting from it, or her muscles are just a little stiff, a little nerve damage, especially being the neck. You know, there's a lot of, connections to the brain and stuff that could cause some nerve damage. That's just one.
Actually might have been more extensive, and she just kind of told the fans so they wouldn't worry.
Yeah, that's definitely one thought I had. I mean, another thought that was creeping into my head for a second reason is that, maybe she just wasn't happy in the role in itself. As an actress and stuff in Hollywood, or even just actors in general, there are a lot of times when it comes to superhero roles, they can sometimes be a blessing, but they can also be a curse because they can get you the exposure you need. But in other cases, that it can often lead to typecasting and maybe losing out to other people and other, if you go to try to get a movie role or another role on another TV show, they could say, well, I mean, you got the whole Bat thing going right now with the whole superhero gig, and we just can't see you as anything else other than that. I mean, that's definitely happened throughout history. It happened to George Reeves when he played Superman, which a lot speculated is what, led to his untimely death back in the day. And, whenever you hear Adam West, you just think 66 Batman, despite, other shows he was in, like Pete and Pete. Love that show, by the way, back from back in the 90s. It was funny. But yeah, I mean, that could also be a major reason why she decided to leave, is that, she wanted to, not fall into the whole typecast bit and stretch her legs as an actress in other roles, maybe get back to movies. Because she didn't like how TV was going and such. So those are just some ideas that I kind of had kicking around in my head as to the reason. Do you have any thoughts?
So, I mean, those are good. I think also, when she got cast in the role, there was a lot of hate, especially ironically from the LGBT community, because they, for some reason, thought she wasn't a lesbian, and something about her not being like Jewish, not being like, her acting wasn't really good. They said she was too wooden. And they really trashed her on social media to the point where I know that she had to delete her Twitter account. So I remember that was in the beginning, right before we even got the pilot aired, she deleted her Twitter account. We really have not stopped seeing the bashing of Ruby Rose's portrayal of Batwoman. If you look at YouTube, there are a million videos talking about how much it sucks, and blaming the writing of the show on her. All of the stuff that she says, like some of the lines that are said in the series that people have called out as a social justice warrior, those aren't actually Ruby Rose's lines, but for some reason she got the hate from it. So I'm wondering if maybe the stress from all that got to her. Maybe that's why she left the role. Maybe she couldn't handle, all of the negative feedback all of the time. I know that she never went to Comic-Con when it premiered, and I don't know, I think she was working on a project, but I never saw her really at any of the other events. Whenever they would have something with the cast, it was always Mary or Sophie's actor or the actress, or you would have Luke's actor, but you never saw Ruby Rose in that group outside of us seeing her in the show. So I'm wondering what actually is going on. I mean, I'm thinking there's probably a lot more to it we don't know. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there was the one Comic-Con she was set to be at, which got everyone's attention and stuff, because she didn't show up. And I want to say that's when the whole neck thing happened that time. And then any other appearances, I remember, reading articles with CW producers like Greg Berlanti and stuff saying that, I think she was filming other scenes is what a lot of the excuses were and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it could very well just be all the negative feedback that she was getting, from being in the role and stuff like that. I mean, and if that's the case, that is extremely sad. I'd really hate to think that she was, bullied out of the role essentially. Because she didn't give in any article I had read, she did not give any real explicit reason as to her departure.
Yeah, she didn't. She just said it was not it was like a decision she did not make lightly. And she thanked Warner Brothers and the cast and crew and, but that's what I'm saying. Normally if it's something health related, if you don't want to talk about it, then yeah, you'll do a standard message. But I mean, for her to just drop the show when season 2 was in the bag, that, it was in the bag. She had a season 2. So obviously, regardless of what the fans thought, the network believed in it enough to give them another season. And now, I mean, what's so bad is Ruby Rose will always be known as the woman who left Batwoman. It doesn't matter what she goes on to do now. She is now branded. So if she did leave because she didn't want to be typecast, well, she just typecast herself as the woman who quit Batwoman. And to me, that's kind of worse. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's really interesting. I really would love to know. I'd love for her to do an official statement, but I probably think for PR reasons she couldn't, especially if she did it because of social media. Because I think I read a comment somewhere where it said the CW heroes have faced many villains, but none more powerful and evil as social media, which is true. I mean, it's very true. But yeah, so if we were to recast this show, we need to come up with actresses that, and this is what's really hard. So I do not envy the casting of the new season 2 Kane by the CW, because you have to find somebody who can kind of look like Alice, in some way that has chemistry with not only Alice, but with Sophie, because Sophie's the love interest. So you can't just throw anybody in the role, or it'll look really wooden. It's going to be hard. They probably need to be up on their fighting by now, because they're not going to have the same length of time to train that she had with season 2, because we're already in May. I mean, they're going to have to start filming soon, to even start, getting things ready for in January. So yeah, they don't have a lot of time to find somebody to get in shape, get a new costume, because they're not going to have the same costume. Obviously, they're going to have to do some, probably depending on who they get, they're going to have to do some alterations very quickly on that suit. It's a mess. This is a mess. But yeah, we were talking a little bit before we started the stream. You said you had a couple in mind. So who do you think would be good choices to replace Ruby Rose as Kate Kane?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I know one of the ones I was talking about was Kat Barrel from Winona Earp. She played the deputy or one of the police officers.
Officer Hot. Anybody in the
Officer
LGBT
Hot.
community knows Officer Nicole Hot.
Yep, Officer Nicole Hot. There we go. Yeah, I mean, I thought she had a pretty good look about her. And of course, being in that show, which is action oriented anyway, and stuff like that. I thought she looks like she could slip into the role pretty comfortably. Be able to do some action sequences and stuff like that. Probably wouldn't look bad in the bat suit. I don't think.
And I'm wondering how she would look in comparison with Alice, like, because they're supposed to be twins. That's what's so hard. Like at this point, I mean, I will say that Ruby and Rachel looked a lot, like not a lot, but they looked very similar in terms of eye colors, face structure. They looked like they could be sisters. So that is another challenge because you have to have somebody who looks like they could be her twin. And what scares me is I don't want Rachel to lose her job because she doesn't look like whoever they cast as Kane. That would be horrible. That would be horrible. So yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, I'm looking at a picture of her now. If you want, we can't post pictures in here, unfortunately, but if you are following us, like I do see that Lordron, you're in here. Basically, if you Google, I would just say go to Winona Earp and then type in Waverly, and trust me, she will obviously come up with Waverly because that's the person that she's dating. But Nicole Hot is the character's name, but I don't know. I feel like maybe with contacts, I don't know. I mean, I love the actress. It's just really hard because, like, again, it's such a hard thing. If she was just a sister, it would be one thing, but she's playing a twin. Mm-hmm. So that would be really, really weird. And it's already going to be awkward for us. Yeah. Like, welcome Alex Jet. If they don't pick a good actress to play Batwoman this time, no one will bother to watch the show anymore and they'll just end up canceling. You're absolutely correct. I'm so worried about the twin aspect. I don't want Rachel to lose her job as Alice because the person that they get doesn't favor her, and they're supposed to be, even if they're fraternal twins, they cast Ruby Rose and her and they really look like sisters. So that is such a challenge, but I'm not ruling her out. I think she would be awesome. I don't know. It's so hard. Like my pick is also a little iffy only because I'm not sure of her sexuality, and they're trying to cast like basically they want to have another person who is an LGBT community. So they want to keep it as authentic as possible. And I picked Mackenzie Davis from Terminator Dark Fate. She was also in Dark Mirror, where she also played a lesbian. She plays lesbian characters. As a matter of fact, she's actually in a show or a movie with Kristen Stewart, where she also plays the love interest of Kristen Stewart. So like she's always playing LGBT characters, but she has not officially said that she was in the LGBT community. So I don't know if that would eliminate her from the role because they want authenticity. So I don't know. But I think Mackenzie Davis, especially since she has similar eyes as Rachel, would actually look really good in the bat suit and as the twin sister of Alice. So no. It's also, like look at the comments. What about Ellen Page? I would love Ellen Page, but Ellen Page is 5'5". I'm 5'5". She's shorter than me. So she's 5'4", 5'3". She would be a very short Batwoman.
Yeah, I think Ellen Page is a little too short. But I was gonna say another thing that I like about the idea of Mackenzie Davis too is, especially after coming off of Terminator Dark Fate and stuff like that, she got into a really good shape for that role.
She did.
And action sequences wise, I think she could totally handle it.
Oh, absolutely. And like, I mean, the training that she's had in general, across the board, she, I think, was even into martial arts prior to this. I think that was one of the reasons they liked her, because she's very competitive and she was really athletic in real life. So it wouldn't be a stretch. It wouldn't be like pulling off somebody off the street, and they might do that, but have like somebody new who's never had any type of training. I think that would be harder, because it's going to be hard. We're all going to be like watching like very intensely in season 2, saying, okay, this doesn't feel like season 2. It actually feels like season 1 because we have a brand new person now. So it's weird. And then I think where they left off, I'm not going to,
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it jump. Sorry about that. Connection issues are fun, guys, when you're streaming. But where they basically left off on Batwoman, which I don't want to say if you haven't seen this season finale, that would be a big spoiler. I don't know how to continue this storyline now with the new Kate Kane. You know what I mean? Because then it'll be like we have this character, and now we have a new Kate Kane too. So everybody's new. It's just gonna be weird. Isn't it very weird?
I mean, they really got only one of two choices to get through this whole thing. Either they're gonna have to come up with some kind of odd storyline, like, oh, Kate got plastic surgery, you know, after this accident, or it's gonna be sort of a Don Cheadle moment, like in Iron Man 2, where she's just gonna kind of walk on screen. You have a character like Mary or someone go like, "Oh, Kate, I'm sorry, didn't recognize you. Did you do something new with your hair?" You know, and then just have the new Kate say something, I don't know, kind of witty or whatever, and it's kind of like, moving on with the show.
That would be horrible, though, right? Like if you had to cut your hair like that, like say they got an actress and she literally had to do the Ruby Rose haircut because, you know, she's casting that role and they're trying to keep it as formula as possible. I think that would be crazy. But
yeah.
I think another actress, though, that I had mentioned, and I think you have another one too. If you watch the show Grimm, I thought that Jacqueline, I had to look up her name, Jacqueline Taboni. Yeah, Taboni would be very, very good in that role. She was basically a Grimm in Grimm, and she played a character called Trouble, and she was really good at fighting, really good with weapons, and so she already has that kind of athletic background too. And she has brown eyes, so they'd have to give her contact lenses, which, you know, they do that all the time anyway. As you think you even pointed out that Brendan Ralph had to do that for Superman Returns when we were talking earlier. So I think I think she would be another good choice. And she's pretty tall. I think she was like 5'10". So I think she would be another one. I mean, my first pick is Mackenzie Davis, but again, I don't know if she's actually a lesbian. So, and they are trying, the showrunners want to cast somebody who actually is a lesbian. So I don't know if she would be in the running since she has not, but I do know that Jacqueline Taboni is dating a woman. So that pretty much puts her in the running in my mind. So yeah, those are the two I can think of though. Yeah, you like Trouble. Yes, Trouble's she'd be an awesome. And she had the attitude. I mean, everything. If you just looked at her, if you ever watch Grimm, I know you haven't seen it, Joe, but if you ever check out Grimm, she has a pretty good arc and she comes back in the series later on. And she's a very good character. So, and she has blonde hair right now. She actually cut her hair and it's streaked blonde. So I think that she would be a very good choice for Kate Kane. Now, they probably will go with somebody that we've never heard of or scarier. They'll go with somebody from another CW show that will be like, what the heck? And I'm really hoping that's not what's going to happen. That would be very, very scary for me. I mean, honestly, I don't know. It's actually making me a little nervous. I was not expecting this. This is the premiere night of Stargirl. I thought I was just going to be reviewing Stargirl for tomorrow.
Right.
I'm like, what? Now we don't have a Batwoman? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, I mean, especially with the fact that, what was it, just a couple days ago or so, I think it was announced that they actually casted somebody as Bruce Wayne for the show to appear.
Oh, see, I didn't want to bring that up because I wasn't sure if anybody saw the premiere or the finale. So I wasn't sure if I was spoiling that or not. Oh, no. Spoiler! Just etch that out. It didn't happen. I did like who they had for Hush in Batwoman. I thought he was a certainly perfect amount of crazy. So, baby girl. But yeah, he was like this level of crazy that I thought was really appropriate for Hush. So, and overall, my opinion, I guess I do need to do my Batwoman season 1 overall review, which is what I'm going to do instead of the finale. But I didn't hate Batwoman, but I've always had a problem with CW writing, and that's across the board, whether it be it Arrowverse or any other show. It's like they flip a coin to see what plot they want to go with. And then they have like what I call the Bryan Singer dartboard. It's how I think he actually cast X-Men movies. He just took put a bunch of character pictures on a wall, got a dart and just threw it. And then whatever it landed on, he built stories around. So even if they did not connect at all. And I kind of feel like the CW does this too. I nitpick a little bit only because they do really weird stuff. Like we have Crisis on Infinite Poop, that's what I call it. And then we go and we have like Nocturna as one of the early, villains, but they do the post, Nocturna and not the actual, the pre and not the post.
Yeah.
So like, whereas we have Madeline Knight, who is of course Jason Todd's adopted mother and who was having a fling with Batman. They made her Nocturna for Kane instead of the Madeline that we're used to in the New 52. And it was just really, really weird to me. I'm like, why would you do that? So it's just something that always bothers me. But as for like Ruby Rose as a whole, I actually did not mind her as Kate Kane and Batwoman. I think she did a really good job. And I'm just like, it's just blowing my mind. It's like, why? Of all the people, she was so excited to get this role. It was like her dream role. And she was the first television lesbian superhero. And she was super excited. And now she's like, and I'm out. And I'm like, what? So yeah, I mean, I got my top 2 picks. You have one. You have another one that you think would be really good?
Yeah, absolutely. So for my second pick, and here's the thing, you had already said it, that it's really tough to, find somebody in the LGBT community, because there's like definitely a lot of actors and actresses that haven't, stated anything or come out or anything to the public. So with this next one, I'm just going on like just kind of pure instinct about who I just actor-wise, who I think would fit the role really nice, and that's Kelly Overton from the female Van Helsing show. I think she's a pretty good actress. She's physically fit. She's got like a very good look about her. I think, you put the cowl on, it would look really good.
She's very athletic. So yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. She was actually, she played Christy Montero in the Tekken movie, the first Tekken movie. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that movie. Yeah. Was it Tekken or Dead or I'm thinking Dead or Alive, DOA.
Oh, no, she was in Tekken.
Yeah, I got that one mixed up. Which DOA was, I mean, it wasn't the best movie, but it wasn't as bad as people thought it was. It was pretty cool action wise.
Like, not to go off subject, but I really loved that movie just because it's one of those so bad it's good scenarios. Mm-hmm. I think Eric Roberts is just hilarious in that movie, and like his plan overall is so nonsensical. I just had to laugh. I'm like,
the whole movie was nonsensical.
It's like,
it made me. Jamie Presley, I think, was in it as Tina, right?
Yeah,
was that Tina? Who did she play? She was the wrestler, and I always forget her name when I play the game. But that movie made me realize that she was the perfect rogue. She was the perfect rogue. She just needed to have the brown hair in the street. That woman had the voice. She looks like Rogue. She has the fighting skills and body of Rogue. That was the perfect Rogue for a live action Rogue in the X-Men movie. I'm just saying. That was Captain.
Have to take the Southern accent, which would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was natural. She sounded like the voice actress from the 90s X-Men cartoon. So I was extremely impressed with that. And every time I heard her talk, I'm like, that's Rogue. That's Rogue. That's Rogue. So, but I know we got off topic. But yeah, I do like your choice for that. I have one more, but there's no way in heck she could ever play Batwoman, only because she's not technically white. She's like Hawaiian, I think, and Filipino. But if you ever watched a little B-rated zombie TV show called Z Nation, in the last season, they introduced a character named George. She was also in Black Lightning. Her name is Katie O'Brien. She is a really amazing fighter. She has the look. Like if she had that cowl on and she looked at me, she would scare the hell out of me. I mean, she would be the perfect Batwoman. The only problem is she's not technically white, so she would not be a good daughter for Jacob, and she would definitely not be a twin of Alice. So, and it's sad because she really would have rocked Batwoman if she just could keep the costume on. She would have been perfect as Batwoman. But yeah, this is crazy. You messaged me today and you're like, did you know that Ruby Rose Batwoman? I was like this. I was literally still at work and I was like, what? conference call over. Like, I'm like, this is insane, guys. This was a night that I was going to check out Stargirl. I was going to see how I felt about, the show, because all the trailers were great. The sneak peeks we got were great. This was my review night for Stargirl. And now I'm sitting here talking about what the heck are we going to do about Batwoman? That is insane.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was all set and ready to go. I got some popcorn. It's like, let's get a Stargirl it tonight and record some thoughts. Yeah. Boom, that'll be up tomorrow. And then all of a sudden, what? Like, my social media just would not shut up about it. Like, it's just all over the place. Like, it went from 0 to 10. I mean, and really,
you told me that, and I didn't see anything. And then all of a sudden, it started popping up on my feed on my phone, and I was like, "What is happening?" I really want to know. I mean, did we drive her away on social media? Not us, because obviously we weren't trash talking her. But
yeah,
was it social media? Like, was it all of the nasty comments people were saying? Because they were really mean to her over writing that she had nothing to do with. Like, the lines that were coming out of Kate Kane's mouth were not Ruby Rose's. So, however you feel about Ruby Rose as a person, based on what you know about her in the media, which I know very little because I don't follow people like that, but that's that. But like, you can't get upset at the actress of a character in a CW Arrowverse show because they're not actually writing their own lines, but they were taking it out on her. So I'm wondering if it just kind of got to her, if it was just like, you know what? You're telling me I'm not gay enough, and I've been gay since I was 12, I think she said. You're telling me I'm not Jewish. You're telling me I can't act. So why would I come back for season 2? And I'm really wondering if that's what it was. If social media was the one villain that that Kate Kane couldn't overcome.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting to speculate about, and I'm sure like, as time goes on and like, give it a few months, give it about a year, maybe she'll, be able to come out and say the reason, like the real reason why she decided to step down, from the show. Cause I doubt she was fired. Like, I doubt she got let go.
It didn't seem like it was fired. Yeah. And they probably would have said that in the media too. Ruby Rose gets fired. They have no problem saying when they fire actors.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it was fired. She definitely left.
Yeah, exactly. It was out of her own accord and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, it really could have been for any of the reasons we mentioned. She got bullied out of the roles because she just got tired of hearing about it on social media. Could have been, she's like, I don't want to do this, because sometimes you get your dream job and then you realize not as great as you thought, and you're like, okay, I want to get back to film and stuff like that,
And yeah, it could be that. And like I said, like if you're right and she doesn't want to be typecast, she still, like I said earlier, she doesn't understand that by quitting Batwoman, she has already typecast herself as the woman who quit Batwoman. And like every time you see her in a movie, she used to be Batwoman and she quit. That's what people are going to remember. And it's sad. It really is. Apocalypse the Destroyer Reloaded said they should get Eliza Dushku. I would love that, except she also is 5'4", so she's too short for Batwoman. That's unfortunate, but it's true. You need to have somebody that can at least be the same height range as Alice, since they're twins. And that if you were to get Eliza, that would basically require a lot of shots with her standing on a plank. I mean, a lot.
Or alternatively, you could always do this. Let's just camera trick it and have Rachel Scarston play Kate Kane in season 2.
They should cast Rachel in both roles, so she'll really be identical twins. She'll play Alice, and that would be hilarious. If they turn around and do that, I will laugh. If she actually ends up being
great, I would probably start watching the show more just to see scenes of her interacting with herself. Yeah,
maybe we should be like KCW. Why don't you let Rachel do both roles? She's supposed to be a twin anyway.
Yeah.
She's already going to be on set. Just go ahead and do it. That way, that would be a lot of work for her. And since they have 18-hour filming days, I would not envy that. She would never get a break. God. But yeah. Jada Griffin said, how about Megan Fox?
We're people out there now, aren't we?
Now, she is beautiful. Megan Fox is beautiful.
I won't deny that.
Yeah, I actually did not hate her, and this is probably just me. I didn't hate her as April O'Neil. I really didn't. I wasn't a big fan of the movies, but she wasn't the reason that I didn't really care for them. That's more of a Michael Bay thing. But I don't know if she'd be a really good fit for Batwoman. I don't know. I mean, I have to think. Let me think on that. I got to think on that. Megan Fox.
Yeah.
Because she was very action oriented in the Transformers movies. I will give you that.
Yeah, but her height is a bit of an issue on there.
And she's also not bisexual. She has to be in the LGBT community as well. And so I think that would also eliminate Eliza Dushku, because she does not come out as bisexual, because they have to be in the LGBT community. The actress has to be authentically, either a lesbian or bisexual. So a lot of those actors would be eliminated, which is why it was so hard for us coming up with it. Because I'm telling you, my pick is Mackenzie Davis from Terminator Dark Fate. She is already buff. She has the clear blue eyes. She looks like she could be related to Alice. I think she would be an amazing Kate Kane and Batwoman. But I don't know if she's actually, even though she plays a lot of lesbians, I don't know if she's actually in the LGBT community, and that the showrunners want authenticity. So that would rule her out, which I guess if you really think about it, Rachel Skarsgård probably would be ruled out too, because we don't know if she's actually in the LGBT community either. So yeah, this is hard.
Yeah, it definitely is, which is why, if I had to make a real, actual educated guess, they're probably going to go with an unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only way. Probably that it'd be the easiest way to swallow it too, take that pill and stuff.
That would be so horrible for that newcomer though. That is a lot of pressure to carry a second season of a series. And especially if this is your first television show, you're learning everything while carrying the entire show. That's hard. That is hard. Oh, I didn't even see it. There was one more. London said Anna Paquin, which I think she does identify, but she's also she's my height. We're both 5'5", so that wouldn't work. We're too short to be Batwoman.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of look towards Rachel Skarsgård, that'd probably be kind of close. In terms of looks,
she would have to wear contacts too, wouldn't she? I think she has brown eyes, doesn't she?
Yeah, she has brown eyes, but I could see them staying next side by side and being sisters. And I mean, and even if it is always possible they could cast a shorter actress too, and just camera trick it.
Yeah, it's just hard, and then especially with the fight scenes, it would be really hard to have her, because that's a lot. There's a lot of choreography and a lot of, as somebody with a film degree, it is really, really hard to do continuous movement shots with a plank, because that's what you basically would have to do to have them even with whoever they're fighting, or they'd have to have the people that she was fighting kind of hunched down a little bit while they're fighting and just not really film anything below the thigh level. That'd be absolutely hilarious. But no, I mean, this is really crazy. I really want to know what people think. Who do people think could be the next Batwoman? Because they don't have a lot of time. I mean, they're probably going crazy right now, throwing out casting calls to everybody. I wouldn't be surprised if social media has an open call for the next Batwoman. They're hitting Twitter and Instagram. They're so desperate because they need to find someone ASAP, because the requirements are hard. I mean, you got to look like Alice. You got to be in the LGBT community. You have to be in shape, and you have to already know how, at least similarly, be athletic enough to fight. And they need this person ASAP.
Yeah,
so,
probably. I feel like it's probably going to end up maybe being something like if they get desperate enough, like a Power Rangers casting call where it's just check all these boxes, no acting experience necessary.
So they'll have more comments like, "Oh, you're just wooden actor," and they're going to drive another actor out of the role, and the whole series will be canceled. I don't know. I think whoever they get, though, I really hope. I hope that they have at least the I'm going to say stamina to handle social media, because people are mean. People say some mean things when I actually made a comment once on two characters of one of the shows that I reviewed, and this person actually went to my Facebook and sent me a message and threatened to slit my throat over my opinion of a character on the show. So
horrible.
Yeah. So people get a little crazy. So yeah. you got to have a tough skin when you put yourself out there. And I mean, I'm just doing YouTube videos, and I do voice acting for anime and video games, but luckily they don't see me. And if they talk crap about that, it doesn't matter because I still got paid and I can just laugh at my bank account. So, it's like,
yeah, there you go. That's always good.
Yeah, but like it's really hard, when you are like Ruby Rose and you're the star of this show and people are like trashing you. You're working hard, training and filming for 18-hour days. They spend months in Vancouver. Like they spend half of the year away from their home, their loved ones, their friends, their family, unless they move their family there. So they work hard on these shows. So I do respect the actors on the CW for that because they have no lives. They literally live and breathe that show.
Yeah.
So like when you take it and then you still, you basically call them personally out on stuff that are writer choices, that's messed up. So it's sad. And if she really did leave that show because of social media and the comments and all the YouTube videos that we see online where they call her every name under the sun, it's just really sad. It's really sad. But yeah. That's pretty much all we got, guys. We just wanted to put our thoughts out there because this is crazy. Is it name, please? No one threatens my nerd. No one. Don't worry. My daughter took care of it. We're good. My daughter feels the same way. She's my bodyguard. But yeah, we want to know what you guys think. And please leave a comment below if you can think of anybody else you would think would be awesome as the new Kane and Batwoman. Because I mean, it's hard. And remember, if you do have a theory, they need to be in the LGBT community. They need to look like Rachel. They have to look like Alice. And they need to at least be believable in the role enough that they don't have to train a newbie to come in to learn to fight. We don't want to have fight scenes where they're like, they want to actually look believable. So like, if you know of anyone outside the people we mentioned, please leave a comment because I really want to know because this is crazy. So, but yeah, I want to thank Joe Geek Show for joining me. It's always a pleasure. Please go to his channel. He does amazing comic book reviews. So please subscribe. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, hopefully you are. Please subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell because, you want to know when we randomly pop up like now. But outside of that, guys, I love you. And go ahead, Joe. Say your trademark.
And as always, stay geeky.
Bye, guys.